Hey guys, so I figured why I drove to my next property to service, I could talk about a few things on doing it yourself around your home to keep the pest out. So for the inside of your home, it's really important before we get into any type of chemical control or anything like that, is to keep your floors clean. Make sure you clean under your refrigerator often. And when I say often, quarterly, at least once a year. The kitchen and the bathrooms are going to be your main problem areas because insects and a lot of pests, they're going to be attracted to moisture. So everywhere that there's moisture, that's generally where they tend to congregate and set up shop. So what you want to make sure you're doing is to keep moisture is the best you can, or keep the areas dry, I guess I should say. So your bathrooms, if you need to run a vent, if you're running a shower, if you have a bunch of kids or a big family and you're running the vent or the shower a whole bunch, you may want to make sure you're running the vent to keep that moisture out of there. And then just make sure everything's picked up and clean in there. The kitchen is going to be really important to sweep and vacuum often. This could be every couple days. And then just any open food containers, make sure those stay closed. Insects will find those really easily, especially ants. They'll scout areas. So the main colony may be outside your home, and they could send a scout in, and they could find that scent of the food real quickly, and they'll bring the rest of their buddies in to get it. So on the outside of your home, there are a couple things you can do. A big one is to keep all your plants, your bushes, your trees, everything trimmed away from your house. Generally, I'll say your bushes, you want to keep them trimmed 3 to 4 inches off the foundation and off the side of the house. Your trees, depending on how big they are, if you got really big, say like in this area where we deal with a lot of live oaks and they're overhanging the top of your roof, a raccoon can easily make a 3 or 4 foot jump. And they're pretty smart. So keep that in mind, that if you do have raccoon issues, that they can jump a good distance off that tree down to your roof, and they'll have no problem once they're in your attic and find a nice place. They won't have a problem coming back out and getting back down. They can climb down the house, jump off the house. They can jump from the roof to back to the tree. There are a number of ways to do it. So you want to keep trees trimmed away quite a bit. So those are a couple big ones right there. The next one is to look at your irrigation around the foundation of your house, especially in your planting beds. You don't want to be overwatering. You want to water, depending on your water restrictions, water once or twice a week, and I would not do more than twice a week. Pretty much all of our turf, all of our plants can handle twice a week watering. A lot of places don't even allow it. It's only once a week, so it's not a big deal. But if you're watering every day, every other day, those areas are going to stay wet. And when things stay wet, you attract pests. And that's everything from mammals, where your skunks, raccoons, and all the way down to your ants, termites. A lot of the subterranean termites, which are our most destructive, they're also attracted to moisture. So we want to make sure we're doing everything we can. When you water your beds, you want to make sure, or your plants, you want to make sure you're drying out in between it before the next time you water. Sorry, trying to drive through a bunch of construction. Typical around Austin. And then also remember to look at your entry points. So your front and back door, your garage door, the door to your garage, and any other exit points you have in your home that are on the doors. You want to make sure those are sealed up real well. You don't want to see, if you close that door and you look in the middle of the day and you see sunlight through an area, well, just think any type of insect can pass right through that. And one of our big things around here is to control scorpions. So any daylight, a scorpion's going to come right through that. And scorpions can go across chemical barriers. So you want to try to do everything you can to restrict their access into your home. So the doors are a big one to make sure that weather stripping is still good. And if you see any daylight, you want to make sure you either work on the stripping, fix it, or replace it. And then obviously, if you have a newer home, it's not that big of an issue. But if you have an older home where your windows are getting old, you may have some entry points around those as well. So you want to look at that, and you probably have to contact a window company to, see what the solutions are on sealing those up. So when you do all this, it really will reduce the amount of product you need to apply. That's why when we follow all these steps, we only have to do a barrier around the outside of your home. We don't even need to come inside. So we maintain that barrier just so nothing tries to get up in there and gain access to your house. All right, so I don't know where I left off. I had a phone call come in, so I went ahead and did a couple properties, and now it's towards the end of the day, and I don't remember where we left off. It happens. But if you follow all these steps and just really be diligent about it and just kind of pay attention and catch everything early, you can actually have a pest-free home pretty easily before you even get to having to spray a product, or maybe you only have to spray a product once or twice a year. If you live in certain areas, you may have to be a little bit more on top of it. If you live, more out in the outskirts of town, where you're on acreage or something like that, you've got a lot of trees, native grasses, and shouldn't say unkept, because it's not really unkept, but just native areas. You're gonna have a little bit higher pest pressure, and that's gonna go everything from the insects to rats and raccoons and all that. But if y'all have any questions, just let me know, and we will get you taken care of. Thanks a lot.